Hello students, let's read the problem. And it says, the picture below shows the measurements of a right triangle. What is the area of the triangle? Record your answers and fill in the bubbles in the grid below. Be sure to use the correct place value. So what I'm looking for is the area of the triangle. Wow, that sounds too easy, right? Area for the triangle. Gotta be a catch, so hold on to that. So what's the formula for area for a triangle? Okay, there's two formulas that you might want to think of. One is base times height divided by 2. That's the one that we used maybe earlier in the years. And then lately you see a lot this formula that says A equals half, right? Half BH, which means half of the base times the height. So that's the formula. So I can see the base of my triangle, right? Problem is I don't see the height, because if you remember, the base and the height make a right angle, okay? So right here, this will be my base, this will be my height, okay? They make a right angle, which I do see right here in the corner. So I do see the base, which is 14, but not the height, because this will be the height right here, right? The other green side. So what do I do to find the measurement? Well, think about it. If this is a right triangle, because it says right in the problem, okay? There's a right triangle. So there is a formula that we can actually use to find the measurement of a missing side of a right triangle. Is that right? Yes, it goes back to the Pythagorean theorem. So I know what you're thinking. Miss, do I need to do that before finding the area? And the answer will be yes, you have to do that. Okay, so remember that A and B will always be the two sides that make my right angle. They're my legs. So 14 will be my A. Okay, I'm going to write it down somewhere over here. And B will be the missing one. Is that right? And C will be 17.5 feet. Okay, I'm writing it on the side because later on I am going to need those to find the base and the height, and I don't want you to be confused. Okay, so I wrote the labels on the side, but now I know that I'm missing B. So A, it's 14 feet, so I'm going to say 14 square, plus B square equals 17.5 feet square. I am not writing the units, the feet, but we know that at the end we need to write them down, okay? So 14 square, or 14 to the second power, gives me 196 plus B square, and 17.5 square gives me 306.25. This is an equation. I need to leave B by itself. So I am going to subtract 196 on both sides. Remember, whatever you do on one side, do it to the other side. Okay? So let me go back over here. So A squared, it's 14. That was the number that I found right here, guys. Okay? Now B, okay, I don't have anything for B, so I'm just going to bring it down, okay? And C, I do have an answer for that, and that's going to be my 17.5. Don't forget that all of this needs to be raised to the second power, okay? So let's continue. 196 minus 196, it's 0. So I get B squared equals 306.25 minus 196 gives me 110.25. Now that's not my answer, because B, I'm looking for B by itself, not B squared. So what I need to do next is find the square root on both sides. And remember, this is the last step that we always do on Pythagorean theorem, more than likely, right? So my square cancels with my square root, and I get B equals to 10.5. And the measurements that I'm using, the units, it's feet. So that's B. So I'm going to come back to my triangle and I'm going to say, oh, you mean this is 10.5 feet? And the answer will be yes, right? So now in terms of the triangle, okay, now I'm looking at the triangle now. So 14 will be my base, okay? And in terms of the triangle for the area, this is the height. Okay, so don't be confused. Yes, base and height were the legs, but that was to be used for the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so now I'm going to continue with my problem. So area equals half, and I'm going to use parentheses because I'm going to have quite a few numbers to write. Base is 14 feet, and the height is 10.5 feet. So all you gotta do is input all that in the calculator. Half of 14 times 10.5. Okay? So I get 73.5 square feet. Okay? Since I'm gonna be writing that answer in the gradable, I don't need to worry about the square feet, just the number by itself, which is 73.5. So this is my 73. There's a point already, a decimal, so you don't need to write it down. And what we do need is make sure you bubble it in. If you just write the numbers but do not completely bubble it in, it will be wrong. Or if I leave it like that, it will still be wrong. Because what is it that I'm missing? I haven't bubbled in the 5. So make sure that you guys do that also. Now, what's not going to count against you is whether you bubble in the positive or not. I always like to bubble in 1, just to remind me that I do need to have something for me, but that's up to you guys. So that's my answer.